Yo, what is going on? And welcome to another episode of the Urban Pitch Podcast, the beautiful game of life, part of the Believe Network. I am Ramsey Abushala, editor of urbanpitch.com. To my left, Bridget Flores and Julio Matarosa, co-executive directors of Vibes. What's going on, y'all?
What is up?
Bridget got that whole role herself.
Yeah, Bridget did her job, and she went above and beyond. She made up for missing last week.
I did.
She's outside. The Instagram
I was
stories
in the
were going
soccer
crazy.
world and
Yeah.
the music world at the same time.
Yeah.
so.
I was home with the dogs. I stayed home all weekend.
Yeah, but we won't get into that. That's for the Patreon. That's for the After Dark podcast.
Subscribers only.
Yeah. Because we have a very special guest joining us via Zoom today. He's from the San Jose Earthquakes, Niko Tsakiris. What is going on, Niko? So glad to have you on the show. What's
going on, you guys? Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, I mean, so I know you're from the Bay Area. You're in LA currently, and we were just talking about this off camera before we started, that we should have just had you in person. But I want to start with, growing up in the Bay, growing up in San Jose, what that experience was like for you playing, the experience, coming from a soccer family and getting to, rise up through the ranks and make your, eventual first team debut with the home team.
Yeah. No, I mean, I obviously, like I said before we kind of have started here, but, it's home for me. San Jose's home, the Bay's home. And, just playing through the academy and being a part of the club from a young age, you really wear it with pride. You wear the badge with pride. And, as you kind of make your way up through the different teams and the different levels, it just becomes that much more important every training, every game. And definitely making the big jump to the first team when I was just 16. The support from family, friends, teammates, staff, like the support and the love was definitely there to make the jump. And after I had signed and, to be able to represent your hometown, the stadium, the facilities 15 minutes from my house. So, grew up going to games and being a Quakes fan, to then, being on the field and you're playing in front of your family and your friends. It's, you can't replicate it. And for me, it's just, after every game, going over to my grandparents, my family, just giving them a big hug. And, it just shows the love and support through all of it, and having them taking me to trainings, in the academy and, what the sacrifices that they've done for me to help me get to where I am, you can't take that for granted.
How was that feeling? I went to go earlier this year. I went to go see Galaxy versus San Jose at San Jose. I know you guys walked through the little walkway towards the fans. How was that feeling watching the players come out to you coming down that tunnel? Was it a great feeling to experience that?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, whenever we play Galaxy, it's always a big game. It's always a big event for us and for the club. And yeah, it's our home stadium, but it definitely is always more exciting to play against the Galaxy, and there's just more of a buzz, I would say, to the match and with the fans, walking over the tunnel, and it's just a different feeling than any other game, just because it's our rival, and it just means that much more. But yeah, you definitely see in the crowd, and as you're walking over that little bridge, just all the fans' faces, and it definitely gets you going.
No, definitely. They stopped all of us when you guys started walking. Like, the first time there, I didn't know what was going on, and then I'm looking up like, oh, the players are right there.
They're right there. Yeah. No, it's been cool, and they just put that in there, so it was definitely a cool addition. Before we were just walking through that little walkway, and they blocked it off, but once they put that bridge, it helps.
Today's episode is brought to you by Bet Online. Bet Online is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, Bet Online provides you with all the action and the ability to watch games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, NBA and college basketball, NHL to UFC, and MMA. Head to Bet Online today to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. Bet online, the game starts here. Yeah, and can you talk about the atmosphere at PayPal Park? What are some of your favorite moments, as a kid going to Earthquakes games, and then how is that different versus being on the pitch and experiencing the stadium atmosphere from that perspective?
Yeah, I mean, listen, when you're not playing and you're just going as a fan, and you're watching the players on the field, you definitely feel the environment, I would say, a lot more than when you're on the field. I know in certain moments when you're playing and you kind of take a step back as the game's going on. Let's just say the ball's out of play, there's a substitution, and you kind of look around and you see the fans in the stadium, and it's definitely different when you're on the field. Definitely different. Obviously, in my opinion, for better reasons. But yeah, I would say, as a fan going there when I was younger, you feel the environment in the stadium a lot more than when you're playing. But in big moments, like I said, in the Galaxy games, or when we play big teams or we're on a roll and we're flying, and there's good momentum in the game, you definitely feel the fans and the energy in the stadium a lot more.
And the stadium's nice. Like every seat's a good seat, real compact stadium. We sat right on the 50-yard line, like first row, but anywhere we walked around the stadium, anywhere you sit, you can see the game at a great view.
Yeah, they did a really good job. They did a really good job with that. I hope that they close it off eventually, but I know people like the bar over there, so.
Oh no, definitely.
He's like first-hand experience.
Can't take that away.
I was shotgunning random beers with random fans. It was amazing.
Oh man.
One thing that we've talked about in recent episodes is the development program and the progression of young players getting professional experience, whether it's going through the academy system. Before it was mostly going to college, getting drafted out of college. Now, with the development of the academies, with more investment going into them, you're seeing more players like yourselves, like the homegrown talents coming up, making their debuts at young ages. You're only 20 years old. It's
debuted at 17, so
yeah, and like you have all of this professional experience, whether it's with the first team, whether it's with the second team in the Open Cup, Leagues Cup, the U.S. youth national team setup. Like you have so much of this experience at such a young age. What was that like for you, and how do you see the future of this development program? Because that's, I think, something that a lot of people are not critical of, but that's something that they care about, is the development of talent and looking towards the future for U.S. soccer. Yeah,
I mean, for me, it was, as an individual and just kind of my mindset towards the whole thing of, like you mentioned, me being so young at the time, and I say that, but I'm still 19, 20 years old. So I'm a baby, but, when you first start at 16, 17, and it's fresh, it's something new. And my mindset was just taking it a day at a time, learning, how can I make the most of every day, whether it's on the field, off the field. And I think it was a really big moment for me and a big year, especially my first year, of just kind of learning the ropes, the ins and outs, the do's and don'ts, whatever you want to call it. But it was a big moment for me as an individual, but I'd say as a platform as a whole, Next Pro, even MLS Next, and then obviously the MLS. I think they've done a really good job of just setting it up and, providing a platform for kids to kind of make the jump. And I would say the jump itself is not so big, so where you're losing that ladder of growth as an individual and as a player. I feel like as a player you can get lost in the shuffle at times, and I think that they do a really good job of getting young kids minutes and providing ways to help them grow as a player. And I think San Jose, just from my experience, they've done a great job with that. And yeah, it just helps you as a person and also as a player, just like I mentioned, the experiences that you get from being in different environments. So I can't really touch on other clubs and their environments, but taking San Jose, I think they've done a really good job.
I feel like your experience and the way that you've been able to progress in your career, when you started, we weren't seeing too much of that, and now we're starting to see it grow a little bit more, and we're starting to see, like you mentioned, MLS and academies do a lot more for the young players to be able to push them towards or up the ladder.
Right.
What advice would you have for a lot of those young athletes that are currently in that stage where they're starting off right into the academy, looking to go into the pro level or the first team level?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say enjoy it all. Like, you're gonna have amazing days, you're gonna have amazing weeks, and you're also gonna have, not so amazing days and not so amazing weeks where you're like, listen, is this the right thing for me? Is this the best thing for me? And I think a reflection every once in a while is really important. Everyone goes through a spell of, what am I doing? Is this really something that I want to pursue? And for me, it was just, listen, let's stick it out. And if it goes to where, I want it to go and I expect it to go, fantastic. And if not, like, you're still in a competitive environment where you grow every day. And for me, like, I think it's just really big in that sense of, listen, advice that I would give, enjoy it all. It's all experience, good or bad. And, I think there's moments, like I said, where you're going to be like, I don't know if I want to do this, but just stick it out and realize how can I make the most of this situation and still have fun with it. Because if you're not enjoying it, maybe it's not the right thing for you. And that was always a message to me and to my family and to my siblings was, listen, if you're not enjoying it, we got to find something else. And because if you're not enjoying what you're doing something wrong. So that's my advice and what I would say.
Yeah. Yeah. And being a teenager, sharing a locker room with and lining up against, grown men how intimidating was that for you? And how long did it take you to kind of get used to that whole dynamic?
Yeah, I think there's a first for everything. And I think the first always kind of gives you butterflies of just the excitement of all of it. You're going to be a little nervous. You're going to be really excited. And yeah, I mean, you never forget your first, right? So debuting, and you're ready to go into the field, and then you have your first start, right? And just so happened to be my first start was against Galaxy at Stanford, and it's our big game. And so that was definitely a moment for me where you're looking around and you got 50,000 in the stands and it's your first match and you just turned 17 and, you're playing against the Galaxy and it's the Clasico. And, but, once you're playing that whistle blows, you're just playing. But you definitely have that feeling, especially with all your firsts, I would say. But, as you get those experiences, as you kind of check more of those boxes of starts and things like that, I think it just it becomes a norm. But yeah, for sure, especially as a young kid, you're looking around and you see Ricky Puig, you see guys like that across the league, and you're like, oh, this guy was at Barca a couple years ago. And, I think the league is growing in that sense of bigger players, bigger names are coming to the league. But you always are excited. You always have butterflies for all your firsts.
Did you know you were going to debut? Like the coach let you know, hey, be ready, or was it a surprise to you?
For the debut or for the start?
For the debut.
Not really. I think it was just.
It was a good week at practice. Take me through that week before you debuted.
Oh man, that was 3 years ago. But I'll take you through the best of my ability. But no, I think for me, like, it was really interesting. It was, I think, one of our first few games of the season. And, wasn't rostered for the first two. And then, like any season, guys pick up knocks and guys are injured for that week. And I think we had a few guys sick, and I think a couple guys were injured and made the roster, made the trip out to Philly. Didn't really expect much of it. And I remember having a good week, but not like an amazing week. And it was just like, you know what, I got to play this weekend and I got to make my debut. And that was my, like I mentioned, that was my kind of expectation and my mindset of like, listen, if it comes, amazing. And if it doesn't, next week. And the opportunity came, and I'll never forget, it was so cold. It was so cold that day. And I was waiting to go in, and the assistant coach came up to me and he was like, I thought he was, going to say like, hey, just enjoy it, do this, do that. And he was like, "Hey, your pants are still on. Like, you might want to take this off." I think you can play with those. So
Hey,
I'll never
it's better than
forget
forgetting
that.
your
In
jersey.
Philly. Yeah, yeah. Oh, so funny. You know, I had everything on, like jersey, and tied my shoes, and then assistant coach came over. He's like, "Hey, your pants are still on. I want to take those off." But no, like, yeah, it was hilarious that whole interaction. But like I said, like once you're on the field, once you're playing the debut and that whole week, I don't know too much, but you know, the opportunity came and it was amazing.
Did you know you were going to start? How about that?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we do the preparation for the week and found out on Friday. And at that time, I think uh, my family was in LA. Think they had just moved. And I told them I was starting on Friday, and I think everybody flew up for that game. So it was really special for me. Um, and afterwards, they do like all the fireworks and everything in the stadium. So yeah, it was really cool. But yeah, I found out on Friday that I was going to be starting, so everybody came up and had probably like 50 people, 60 people in the stands that were all just family friends. So it was really cool, really special.
Did
Yeah.
you request a ticket or everybody had
Oh
to buy their
yeah,
own ticket?
absolutely, absolutely. I'm like, guys, it's my first start. It's a big game, I know, and
I need
you know,
60
love it,
tickets.
but I need tickets. I need a lot of tickets.
In that
So
moment, I know that it was definitely a special moment, but how do you not help but get like a little nervous knowing that your whole family is there?
I think I kind of had a different mindset. It was like, listen, my family's here, and it kind of took a lot of the pressure off of it. Of just like, you know, I didn't feel like there was a need to. Of course, you want to perform, you want to have a good performance and a good game for yourself and for, you know, the team. But I think it took a lot of pressure off that my family was there and my grandparents were there that had been through every step of the way with me. And I think I just took kind I had a different view of it in the sense of it almost took a lot of the pressure off that my family was there just supporting me, whether good game, bad game. And, you know, yeah, I think that definitely helped a lot. Whereas to your point, it could have been the other way and like, oh, my family's here and I really have to play well, you know? So,
Sounds
Yeah.
like you had the more mature mindset because I would have gone crazy.
Yeah, I'll try to make
2 foot
everybody
tackles. Yeah.
Try to impress them a little too much.
tell my team, hey, give me the ball and get out the way.
oh man. Oh man. Nah, I wish, but
Okay, so going from then to now, you know, where you know you're getting regular playing time, you're getting regular minutes with at the MLS level. Whereas before it was kind of like, you know, you playing was like kind of like a novelty, like this is like something new to you. At what point did you get used to, you know, the everyday grind, whether it's, you know, the travel, the training and the actual, you know, play of the league, which is pretty physical. How do you get used to that? And at what point did you feel like, yeah, you know, I belong here, I'm thriving here, this is where I'm meant to be?
sure. Yeah, I mean, me personally, I've kind of struggled with just kind of putting a string of games together, just with injuries and just little knocks throughout the year. But um, I would say, like, I had a good run in 23, had a good run this year of games. Um, but I think for me, like you said, it's pretty taxing throughout the year with the travel and, like you said, just the everyday showing up, and you know you have to be give everything every day, you know, and make the most of it. Um, but I think there's moments where, you know, me personally, when you have a good run of games and you kind of figure it out, like, okay, what's your routine? What's, you know, a week to week look like? Saturday game, like Monday is just for this, Tuesday is just for this, and just kind of you learn a lot about yourself, and what you need to kind of take care of your body because the best ability is availability, and I think I really kind of focused on just kind of me being healthy and me staying healthy, just to be available for the weekend. And that for me was something that I've taken away and just kind of definitely put in my pocket of, okay, this is what I need to just be available when the time comes.
Yeah, yeah, and you know, now big news with Bruce Arena being announced, coming to the club. I don't know if you're at liberty to talk about that, but what are some of your initial thoughts, when you heard the announcement?
Yeah, I mean, like most, I've just kind of heard the news, but you got to give him a chance, and I don't want to say anything or talk badly or praise him because I don't know much about him. Of course, he's had great success wherever he's gone, so there's that, and the situation that I think the club is in right now. I don't see a better fit for it, just with all the experience that he has, and he's come in and turned a lot of clubs around, and a lot of environments around, and I think we need that now. But we got to give him a chance, and my first impressions, I don't know, I haven't chatted with him yet, but I'm sure that will come soon. But yeah, we'll see, and you can't not be excited for another year and a fresh start, right? So we just kind of got to take it as it comes.
Especially a coach of his winning pedigree, a team like for San Jose that has its ups and downs. You can tell they're in the verge of breaking out and having that season for them. I think it'll be a great coach for you guys.
Yeah, I'm excited. I've chatted with a few guys on the team, like you mentioned, like he's had success, and I think we just need one good season. A good enough run to where we kind of build momentum. And yeah, I don't think there's a better time than now to start that. So,
yeah. Speaking of the club, can you take us into the dynamic of of the everyday hanging out with the team? We had Jeremy Ebobisse on, I think it was earlier this year, and he seems like somebody who's just so, his head's on his shoulders. Like he's got a great head on his shoulders.
A pro's pro.
The stuff he does off the pitch. Just talking to him, like I felt smarter afterwards. Just the way
I want to go read a whole book in one day.
You know what I mean? Like what's it like playing with a guy like that who seems to have really good leadership ability and has a wealth of experience in the league?
I mean, I think you just mentioned everything that I could say about him. Yeah, he's a pro's pro. Listen, he's done this for a while, and the experience that he has. With youth national teams, and throughout the league with a lot of different players, a lot of different staff. And, when he talks, you listen, right? And he has a lot of experience. And, as a young player, you want to take as much in as you can, right? And I think he has been very helpful for me. And like you said, he's a pro's pro with all the experience. Like, you can't help but take in all the information that he's given you. And I think he's definitely helped me a lot of like, hey, listen, we hadn't had a great year or a great start to the season last year. And he was like, listen, you're a young kid, like just keep doing your thing. And like, it will come at some point, and just keep working hard and your time will come. And I think just little bits and pieces like that throughout a year, throughout, my time with him have been really helpful. And just how he carries himself and how he, is in the locker room. And he's definitely someone that, shows a lot of maturity. And I know that he's a lot older than me and he'll find that funny. But no, like just how he carries himself, how he speaks, the way he just does what he does. And he's very on top of everything. He's early into the locker room, stays late. Like he's on top of it. And he's definitely someone that, I've learned from a lot the past couple of years.
Yeah, and then representing the national team, like he's had a chance to do that as well. Has he given you any advice on that side of things as well, in addition to the club side?
Yeah, of course. There's a few guys that represented the 20s or obviously senior team. So, but for me right now, I haven't had a senior team call up. So, just talking about 20s and youth national team stuff, he was really helpful. Just going to qualifying, going to the World Cup. Some of the little things that he was telling me, just listen, nothing's guaranteed, right? And, you have an opportunity to go and represent your country in a CONCACAF and in a qualifying tournament. You might not get that opportunity back, right? And you might not get that opportunity again, so make the most of it. For both the World Cup and qualifying, luckily I was able to go to 2 qualifiers. But nothing's given for this upcoming World Cup, right? So going to the World Cup last year in 23 with the 20s, he was like the same message: make the most of it, take as much away from it as you can, grow from the opportunity, and there's nothing more that you can ask for from a guy like that and the experience that he has, and he's just trying to help you. It's amazing.
Yeah, and then winning the golden ball at the CONCACAF U20s, like even though that tournament didn't finish the way that I'm sure you wanted to, what was it like still getting that individual recognition? Despite not the team result not going your way.
Bittersweet. Yeah, I think, like you said, it was amazing to get an individual award like that, individual accolade, but. It's a team sport, it's a collective sport. So for me to not win, and for the group to not win the whole thing, it was definitely tough on the group. And walking into the locker room, you have this trophy in your hand, but the real one we didn't win. And I think for me that was frustrating. And I think for a lot of guys the same. But credit to Mexico, they did the job, and they finished the job, and credit to them. But yeah, definitely bittersweet of taking an individual award and not winning the collective award was tough. But for me, listen, I'll take an award like that, of course, and I don't take it lightly. Anybody could have won it, and it happened to be me, and that's just how it is. But yeah, definitely bittersweet because we didn't do the job that we needed to and wanted to.
You're still young into your career, but have you had that welcome to the MLS moment? You've been playing for a few years now, that you're like, whoa, like, hey, what's going on here? This guy is not that fast on FIFA.
The welcome to the league moment. I want to say there was like this bad tackle where I just got caught. Boxall from Minnesota just came and just crunched me, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm still a kid, that guy's a man. And yeah, but you definitely I've had a few moments like that where it's like, Walker Zimmerman saying, I think he caught me and like, yeah, I'm still a child,
Yeah, no, that's a big man right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've definitely had a few of those moments, but I think it's normal. It's normal.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We've talked to a couple of guys that have played at U20 World Cups, and despite it not being the senior level, they still said the atmosphere at some of these games was just completely intense. Abraham Romero is a goalkeeper. He played for Mexico at the youth level, and he said fans were throwing stuff at him in goal. Like it was, some of the wildest stuff was said to him. What was the atmospheres like when you were at some of these international tournaments at the youth stage?
Yeah, I think obviously Mexico was something that I haven't experienced. Obviously it was in a pretty big stadium. Leon Stadium was massive, but I would say also the qualifying previously in 2022, we played Honduras in Honduras, and it was like this little stadium, maybe like 18,000, and they packed it in. And I remember we scored like early. We ended up winning, I think 2-0, 3-0 in the semifinal. And that was a trip. Leaving that place was crazy. I will never forget that. Just like leaving the field was one thing, and then getting on the bus to leave, that was a whole nother level.
Were they basically like blocking you guys out?
I would say once the final whistle blew, it was like, hey, all right, let's just kind of do this, and then we'll all field together.
Nobody left behind.
Yeah, exactly. No, nothing. Nobody. But the bus, was different. Like you still had fans outside and just waiting for us to leave. But yeah, that experience, and then obviously Mexico. I think Mexico would have been worse if we had won. But we didn't, so I think it lightened the mood for them quite a bit.
It was a business decision.
Oh man!
I got my award already. Like.
Yeah.
Don't come for me.
Hey, do you speak Spanish? I know San Jose has a big Latino community up there.
I understand quite a bit. I mean, you pick up a lot in the locker room, and I think I learned a lot when Matthias was in charge. My first season. You learn a lot, and I think at the time we had a lot of Spanish speakers in the locker room, so you pick it up, little words, and then just you pick it up a lot more as the year goes on. But I understand quite a bit. I wouldn't say I'm fluent or anything like that, but I understand.
Oh, so you understand what they were telling you when they were cursing you out?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Without a doubt.
Something about playing in Central America. We had a few kids that said they let you know.
Level.
Yeah,
different level.
They involve your mom and your family for no reason. Like these guys are.
Dude, I don't even know you. Yeah.
You don't know me? No.
Yeah.
Does that trash talk extend onto the field with other players, and do you pick up on some of the Spanish trash talk that you may hear?
Here and there. I mean, for the most part, no. It's pretty quiet, and now with the league and all the cameras and everything's covered and right in their ear, so it's not like yelling across the field or anything like that. We get in trouble for that now, so
yeah, definitely.
But I mean, in the box or corner kicks, you'll hear like something, but for the most part, not too often.
Have you heard anything clever come from the fans? You're like, oh, hey, that was a good one. I'll give you that one.
I have heard that I look like Cade Cowell, like a off version of Cade Cowell. The ugly version of Cade Cowell.
Oh, man.
Who said that?
But no, I haven't. There haven't been too much towards me, but I'm sure that it'll come at some point. Somebody will not like me and they'll say something, but it's just part of the business, I guess.
Of course. Growing up in the essentially like what you're doing, your career into the pro level, what was it like balancing like your education side of things? Did you get to finish high school? Did you get schooling for that? What was that like?
Yeah, I mean, my schooling situation, so I'm still finishing high school right now, so it was a mess for me and to figure it out, but I would say I'm getting it done. My mom's a teacher, so she's on me about finishing, as she should, but
right.
I would say like how I did it, I would definitely have continued school. I think right when I signed, I stopped and I'm like, you know what, I don't need to worry about this anymore. And
I'm out.
Yeah. And I didn't really like tell my parents either. It was just like, you know what, I'm just done. And I remember my mom had asked me like in the summer, she's like, hey, like just making sure you're still on top of all your stuff. And I was like, yeah, like of course, and all of it. And she was like, okay, well, I'd like to meet with the lady who's in charge with your schooling. And I'm like, you know what? Let me talk to her first, and then we'll figure it out. No, but we ended up getting it all sorted, and I'm finishing up right now. I think I have like 3 more classes, and then I'm done with my high school. And then I'll have that piece of paper that my mom has been talking about for quite some time.
You gonna go to prom and all that?
Yeah,
too?
you gotta go to prom.
Unfortunately, I missed out on that. But,
you can have your own little prom.
My sister went and told me all about it. So,
And for the kids watching, he was already a pro. He stopped going. I brought this conversation to my dad when I was 17. He was like, no, you get out the house. So it didn't work the same way.
Yeah.
So, but no, definitely like missed out on the prom and all the dances, but
you was getting the check, so it works out.
It's a trade-off. There's a trade-off.
Right.
You can't have it all. You can't have it all.
You really can't. Well, at least you're getting back into it and you're getting it done. That's all that matters. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, brick by brick, step by step.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned Cade Cowell. You had a chance to play alongside him in both with club and on the national team youth stage. What was it like playing with him and seeing him do his stuff in Mexico?
And is he really that fast?
Oh yeah, he's that fast. Absolutely. No, I mean he's great, and we were really close. We are still pretty close, but he was definitely a guy that we were always together. Just with trips and national team stuff, like Yeah, we spent a lot of time together those 2 years. And yeah, obviously like what he's doing now, I'm really happy for him. Uh, for me, Mexico was like a unexpected. I didn't really expect that from him. But he went, and I chat with him every once in a while, and he loves it. He loves it, and he's doing well, which helps everything, right? And um, but no, he's great, and he was great with me too. Like another young guy who has had experience at the time, and he had started a lot younger than me, and um, he was just someone that like, hey, I was in a bit of a slump, and like, hey, how do I get out of this? Like, what are your thoughts? And so he helped me in those moments like that, and I think it was just really big. It definitely helped, our relationship and our connection with one another of like, I'll help you, you help me type of deal. And even though he's 2 years older, like we were pretty close. And yeah, he was always like really, really cool with me. So I can't thank him enough for just how he kind of took me under, and it's totally different than like a veteran taking me under his wing.
Right.
Uh, just because of the age and all of that. So yeah, he was great with me, and obviously really happy for the success that he's had up until this point.
Yeah, Bridget's an America fan, so
Yeah, but I love how much the Mexicans have taken him in, and like they
His
basically the memes, just like everything about it, like they've
Yeah.
really like brought him in with a lot of love and appreciation. So I'm a big fan of him being there and like really taking it in as well. And
Yeah.
he's doing great.
he's doing
killing
amazing.
it.
And the memes about like all the Mexicans, like, no, we speak English now. Cow, like,
Okay,
Yeah, exactly.
It's so
Exactly.
el Kate Cowell.
Yeah, I
It's
saw a video
so
like that
funny.
the other day, and I sent it to him, gave him a hard time about it. You got everybody speaking English.
Yeah.
I find that so funny because they're like, no, we only speak English now. Get
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
It's hilarious.
So funny, but yeah, really happy for him. Really happy for him.
And so we're like going into the off season now, right? What are some of your goals coming back? I know you mentioned staying healthy and getting consistent. What are some of the things that you have on your checklist? What are some whether it's on the field, off the field, career goals? What are some of the things that you're going to be working on this off season?
I think for me, just working in front of goal. I haven't scored my first goal in the league yet, and that's definitely a box that I want to check. And I've mentioned it quite a bit, and I haven't gotten around to it, but that's definitely a big one for me. And just being an attacking player and wanting to help the group, I think that's where you can make big jumps and big steps. So for me, that's definitely a goal of mine. It's just being sharper, being more clinical in the final third. Because in a position that I am, you're not going to have 10 chances a game. You're going to have maybe 2 or 3, maybe. And just what do you do with those moments? And I think that's an area that I want to improve and help the team. And those are my goals for this offseason, is just working on those little things, just to be more clinical when I get those opportunities.
Do we have a celebration planned already?
No, not yet. We got it one step at a time. We got to score, and then the celebrations can start coming.
Right.
You're gonna be one of those cool guys like I've done this before.
No, that maybe later, but no, the first one, no, we got to get there first.
Of course. And that's the goal. Obviously, we want to make sure you stay focused and concentrated on that. But sometimes, on the off season, you need a little like break to step away and just kind of like, recenter yourself. So what do you enjoy doing on the off season aside from obviously getting right and staying locked in?
Yeah. No, I mean, obviously I'm here down in LA with my family, right? So, and LA winters are very different than East Coast winters. So the sun is out and the sun is shining. So I love to go to the beach. I'm a beach bum. It's just, I love jumping in the water. I love just being in the sand and hanging out, and in the sun. That helps. But yeah, that's definitely something that I enjoy doing. I can go with my brother and my sister and my family, and we can all just hang out, ride bikes to the beach and just kind of hang out, play some music, and then also golfing. I need to play. I want to start playing more than I do. but everyone raves about it. Everyone talks about it. Like guys in the locker room love it, and I'm like feel like an outsider. I'm like, dude, I need to start playing golf. Like I need to get it.
Yeah, you're talking to two degenerate golfers.
Degenerates.
So yeah, we'll throw out anything, whatever we're doing. Just hit one text. Like you're trying to golf. Like everything's out the window. Responsibilities. Let's go golf.
We work around that golf tee time that we have. We're like,
right.
Do I really have to go to work today?
Right. Yeah.
Like, no. Well, I got a tea time at 3:30, and work starts at 4, but it's all right.
Yeah. No, you don't. Yeah, you don't understand. I'm busy. Like,
I'm busy. My stomach hurts since yesterday. It's bad. It got to a point where we'll leave after the pod and just try to find any course that was open. It was that bad.
Yeah.
They're obsessed.
Our other studio was down the street from a golf course, and we were like, okay, if we get there like 3 hours early, we can set up, go play like 7-8 holes, come back, and then it didn't really work out because when you're golfing, you're doing some other extracurricular activities, and then when we had to be serious for the podcast, we were not very serious.
We were pretty happy to steal from golf.
Yeah. So
they wouldn't have made it.
Some residual effects.
Adds a little flavor to it.
Yeah. So if you go back to our archives, maybe there's a few
might catch a few slip ups.
Yeah.
Slurred words. It was bad.
Mixing up names. Doing all that kind of stuff.
I was Ramsey. He was Julio. It was bad.
Yeah.
Oh man, but that's definitely something. Golf.
Yeah.
No, and the problem with golf is you're gonna be bad at first and you're gonna hate it, but then you're gonna have that great swing and you're like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
We gotta do this more. So
and it just so happens to be that you have that great shot on the 18th of the 9th hole, and you're like, you know what?
Yeah, that's the one that makes you come back.
I think I want to do this again. Yeah.
That's it. There's something up with that. That they always get you coming back with a birdie on like the back
finish strong.
Come
back, and you're like, you know what? Yeah, I got the hang of this.
Nope. It's never, and you never do.
Right.
I'm still waiting for my moment. I went and I hated it because I sucked and I haven't gone back.
She's a lefty play with the right clubs.
Oh, I can't figure out if I'm a lefty or a righty.
Yeah, so she was swinging lefty, she was swinging righty.
I couldn't figure it out.
Honestly, I don't know if there's a third hand, like that. That was crazy.
That was crazy. I have to figure it out, man. I don't know. But I like Topgolf. Topgolf is fun.
Yeah.
I enjoy that.
Yeah, Bridget runs Topgolf actually.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. Listen, Niko, we could have you here for another hour, but we you got things to do. We got studio time to be aware of. But before we finish, we wrap up all of our guest interviews by talking about the music that they're listening to. So what's on your playlist? When you're out on the beach hanging out, what are you throwing on? Who's in your rotation? And do you have like a different pregame playlist versus the music you listen to off the field?
I bounce around quite a bit between what I'm feeling. My mom's from Texas, so country's a big thing in our household. And of course, like older rap. You got some Biggie, you got Tupac, you got Mace, like you have all those that I think I really enjoy. And for me, it's a lot better than the new stuff, but that's just me. But yeah, I'm all of it. Like I enjoy everything. But definitely right now, I'm more into like the country right now and just kind of slowing things down for the winter and the fall. So, but that's my rotation right now.
Do you got a pregame song that you have to play before the games?
That also depends on how I'm feeling. And I think I need to be better at that because I feel like I need, one song to get me right.
Yeah.
But no, it changes quite a bit, whether it's like a Bad Bunny song or it's, an old school hip hop like R&B. It varies. It varies.
Now we know if
you go based off mood. Yeah. We get that.
Yeah.
Julio's a big Marvin's Room. Julio throws on Marvin's Room before every podcast to get us in the mood.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, that's not bad.
Yeah. Because before I play NBA YoungBoy, and then I get a red card.
Yeah.
So
it can't be that.
You might want to change that.
Yeah,
exactly. So
I'm like, maybe don't take his advice, but
so that's why the Marvin's Room came in to kind of mellow him out.
Yeah.
And now it's only a yellow.
Right. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, I used to come to the studio with Pooch Heisty on, and I was like, hey, relax, man.
Baby steps with this one.
Niko, thank you so much for taking the time to talk. This was a lot of fun, and wishing you the best of luck moving forward. We do have an unofficial Urban Pitch boost that we have given to, I would say, probably 90% of the guests that we've had on. So I'm not going to put that on you, but I'm just saying, like, you know, if you see like it could be in your golf game, it could be anywhere, it could be in your soccer game. If you see that boost, you know, just think about the Urban Pitch.
Your first goal might happen because you
You're
came
gonna
on
be
the
like
pod.
Urban
Yeah,
Pitch.
yeah.
So,
Urban Pitch.
yeah, whether it was our fault or not, we're gonna take credit for it. So I hope just a disclaimer for
We'll
you.
be
you know,
watching.
yeah.
Awesome.
And this could be 6 months from now, 2 years from now, eight. You know, it doesn't matter. That there's no statute of limitations for
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. Well, guys, thank you very much. I appreciate you guys taking the time and having me on here. And yeah, it's been great. It's been awesome.
Yeah. Thank you, Niko Tsakiris. Appreciate you, and we'll be watching you moving forward. This has been another episode of the Urban Pitch Podcast, a beautiful game of life. Niko Tsakiris, Julio Monterosa, Bridget Flores. I'm Ramsey Abushala. We'll see you next week.